Before we jump into today's episode, I want to take a moment to say this. Safety isn't about checklists, policies, or paperwork. It's about people. Welcome to Safety on Purpose, the podcast where we challenge traditional safety thinking and explore what it really takes to protect people, build trust, and lead with intention. I'm your host, Joe Garcia, and each episode we dive into real conversations about leadership, culture, human behavior, and the moments that shape how work actually gets done. If you believe safety should be human-centered, practical, and purpose-driven, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Now let's get into today's conversation. Let me describe a conversation that almost every safety professional has had. You're talking with a supervisor, someone with 20, 30, maybe 40 years on the job. You bring up a concern, and they lean back, cross their arms, and say something like, "I've been doing this a long time. I've seen it all. If it was really that dangerous, someone would have gotten hurt by now." And in that moment, you feel it. The wall goes up. The conversation shuts down, and you realize you're just not dealing with a safety issue. You're dealing with experience, identity, and pride. Welcome to Safety on Purpose, where we talk about safety the way it actually exists, not the way it's written in procedures. Today's episode is about one of the hardest challenges in safety leadership: getting buy-in from supervisors who believe they've already seen it all. Not by overpowering them, not by out-arguing them, but by earning influence without burning bridges. Why I've seen it all isn't resistance. Let's start by reframing something important. When supervisors say, "I've seen it all," they're usually not saying, "I don't care about safety," or "I don't respect you," or "I'm trying to block change." What they're really trying to say is, "I've survived a lot. I've learned through my experience. I don't want to be lectured by someone who hasn't walked in my boots." That phrase is less about arrogance and more about identity. For many supervisors, their experience is their credibility. And when safety challenges how they've done things for decades, it can feel like an attack on their competence, a threat to their authority, or a dismissal of their hard-earned knowledge. If you miss that emotional layer, you will never get buy-in. Let's talk about the biggest mistakes safety pros make. Before we talk about what works, let's talk about what almost always fails. Mistake number one, trying to out-expert them. Quoting regulations, citing statistics, listing incidents from other companies. You might be right, but right doesn't equal influential. When you try to out-expert someone who values experience, you trigger defensiveness. Now, it's not about safety, it's about who knows more. Mistake number two, dismissing their experience. Phrases like, "That's outdated thinking," or "That's not how we do it anymore," or "Best practices says." These sound educational, right? But they land as disrespectful. And once a supervisor feels dismissed, they're going to stop listening. So that is the wrong approach we want to have. We want to get buy-in from them because they're going to be the biggest ones that are going to influence what actually happens on that floor or in that plant. We don't want to dismiss them. We don't want to get them into a situation where they're not going to want to listen to us anymore. So we have to find that common ground and find a way to get them on our side. Mistake number three, assuming pushback means defiance. Many safety professionals misinterpret hesitation as resistance, but hesitation often means, "I don't see how this fits reality. I'm worried this will slow my crew down. I don't trust that you will actually help." If you respond with force instead of curiosity, you lose the chance to influence. This is one of the most critical aspects of this approach, right? We don't want to get any type of pushback, but we can't view the pushback as defiance. Figure out what they're actually upset about, or figure out what they're actually pushing back on. If it is this doesn't fit in reality, then find out what actually would fit into their reality, because maybe you're approaching it from the wrong perspective as well. What supervisors who've seen it all actually care about? So here's something we don't say enough in safety. Experienced supervisors, they care deeply about their people, their reputation, and getting the job done right. They may not talk about safety the way we do, but that doesn't mean that they don't value it. What they care about mostly is credibility. And credibility to them comes from understanding the work, respecting experience, and not making their job harder for no reason at all. If your safety approach threatens any of those, you're always going to get pushback. So how do we earn buy-in without power struggles? So how does this actually break through? It starts with how you show up. Step 1, lead with curiosity, not correction. Instead of saying, this isn't safe, try, help me understand how this usually goes. Ask, what tends to cause problems here? Where do things get tight? What worries you most about this task? You're not giving up authority, you're building trust. Step 2, acknowledge their experience out loud. Say it directly. You've done this for a long time and you know this job better than I do. That sentence doesn't cost you anything, and it buys you credibility. It signals respect without surrendering responsibility. And it's an honest statement, because you're not going to know more than them about the job. They're going to be the ones that are going to need to be your expert in this scenario. You have to lean on them to understand how something actually works and something actually gets done. I don't care if you've been in safety for 20 or 30 years. You haven't been in their shoes. You haven't been through their experience. Respect that and build trust by gaining their trust, by asking them how this will work in their reality. Step 3, connect safety to their world. Frame safety in terms of crew reliability, production stability, reduced rework, and fewer disruptions. Safety that supports success gets accepted. Safety that feels like interference gets resisted. That's the biggest key I want you to understand from here. If it interferes with anything that they're trying to get done, you're going to automatically get resistance. So the biggest component of this is try to make this make sense to them. Like, I understand why we have to do these extra steps, but explain it to me so that I understand and make sense of what they're trying to figure out. Step 4, ask for their help. This is where the shift happens. Instead of telling them what to do, ask, what would make this safer without slowing the crew down? Now they're part of the solution, not the problem. People protect what they help create. Eventually you'll hear this one. We've never had an incident doing it this way. Here's the mistake many safety pros make. They're going to argue that point. Instead, reframe it. Say, that tells me people here are skilled and they've been managing risk. My concern is what happens when conditions change. Shift from past success to future exposure. No one argues with uncertainty. They argue with accusations. When buy-in still doesn't come. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, buy-in doesn't happen immediately. That doesn't mean you failed. Influence with experienced supervisor is built over time and consistency. Keep showing up, keep listening, keep following through. One calm, respectful stand on real risk often does more than 10 presentations. Respect is going to build influence. So let me leave you with this final thought. Supervisors who say they've seen it all aren't your enemy. They are experienced, proud, protective of their people. When you respect that without backing down from safety, you earn something far more valuable than compliance. You earn trust. And trust is what makes safety work when no one is watching. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Safety isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the people we choose to protect every single day. If today's episode challenged your thinking, encouraged you, or simply made you pause and reflect, that means the conversation is working. Safety on Purpose exists to help leaders and safety professionals move beyond compliance and build trust rooted in accountability and care. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and consider sharing it with someone who leads people or influences culture. New episodes of Safety on Purpose are released bi-weekly with bonus content throughout the year designed to equip, challenge, and inspire the next generation of safety leaders. And remember, safety doesn't happen by accident. It happens on purpose. I'm Joe Garcia. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.